What's up, everybody? Welcome to AEW Uncensored. Here, my man, Alan. We are the Bridge and Tunnel Connect. We are the Beast from the East.
With the least
research. And we can't forget, we are Nolan Hash. So, what's up, brother?
What's up, man? How's it going?
Not bad. Skyler, what's up, brother? Yo, thanks for all the fucking lookouts out there, Skyler. Yep. On iTunes, we love your review. Thank you very much. Your email, much appreciated. That was fucking awesome, man. Alex, what's up, brother? Good to see you, man. Glad to have a couple new faces in here.
Absolutely.
Last week's stream, for some reason, got, I don't know. I had to upload the audio from it because the sync was bad through. I guess YouTube somehow. I guess I was talking and then you guys would be answering, and when I was talking originally, my audio didn't come out, but it came out as you guys were answering my questions or whatever. So somehow it got messed up there.
Well, we just
Kenny
continue to
right.
be jobbers.
That's true. Kenny was right. We were lagging. We were lagging. I was hoping it was just him, but it was us, or YouTube per se. No idea what went on there. And getting bitrate issues on the stream. Let me see here. Why is it saying 0? I assume they could hear us. You guys could hear us, right?
Yeah, audio check.
Audio check, fellas. Kenny, what's up? Kenny, you were right with the sync last week. I really hope this isn't going to be an issue now with Facebook, with YouTube and the audio here.
Anybody saying if they could hear us?
Yeah, he says the audio is good. Skylar says audio is good.
Okay, great.
Alex says yeah. All right, well, this fucking podcast started off with a bang. It actually did, because we got two new listeners in the chat with us live, so that's cool.
Awesome.
We got Kenny. We should hit up Jimmy and get Jimmy in the chat.
Yeah.
Him and Kenny got to play the best friends.
And thanks again to Jimmy for joining us last week. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was fun. Shit, man. Now that we got all this, hopefully got all this technical difficulty shit out of the way, let's actually talk about the shows.
Yeah.
It's stressing me out, though, because, I don't know what they're doing over here on YouTube. There you go. Now it says excellent connection.
Awesome.
Fuck you, YouTube. Hopefully we don't get blocked for that.
I was gonna say, yeah, we gotta watch what we say about YouTube.
Gotta watch what we say,
especially if we ever get to the point where we're being monetized.
Oh, forget it. Nah, it's good. All right, cool. Yeah, for some reason it was saying 0 bitrate. Now it's saying excellent connection.
Cool.
So who the fuck knows? I'm just glad it's says excellent connection now.
I do have an excellent collection. So anyway, thanks for asking.
You do. So shout out to everybody right now in the chat. We got Alex Puma, we got Skylar Lambert, and we got Kenny Waters. I don't know where Jimmy's at. What's up with Jimmy and Eddie? We need Jimmy and Eddie in here, and we need Keith back. Keith hasn't been here in a few weeks, and George is probably still snoring. If not, he's just waking up, putting on his boxer briefs and getting ready for work there. But all right. I don't know where I was going with that. That was a little. I don't know why I started with boxer briefs. You know what I mean? Sorry, guys. Sorry. So this week there's not much miscellaneous bullshit with AEW. I know one of our friends, Larry, he sent me something about Dark being the new show on TBS or TNT, and obviously that was just like a fake article of some sort, or just like a fake Twitter. So I won't even really give that any credence until like that really pops out, which I think would be stupid to put that on live television. I really think they need to use that, change what it is currently to what we've talked about in the past in terms of an extra show where maybe you could get the lower and mid card guys more time, less of a jobber show that it currently is. But in terms of another show, I think it should be a totally different show, more in the lines of Dynamite. Who knows when they're going to do it, but
yeah, I mean the problem with Dark is it's that you get a lot of bang for your buck, I guess, in terms of actual matches, but it's all just one match after the other. You don't have any building of stories, you don't have any skits, you don't really have anything but just match, and that won't really suffice for the purposes of if there is going to be a second show to highlight other talent.
Yeah. Alex says, "Wow, I love your podcast. It feels like a family, dude." Bro, thank you.
Thanks.
We appreciate it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, that's what we want, man. We really just want to have interaction with you guys and bullshit about the show with you guys. That's why I wanted to do the podcast. I just wanted people to talk about the show with live instead of just reading comments on social media. And it's hard to convey your thoughts and stuff on that. So I'm just glad to have some people to bounce it off with. And, of course, my boy Alan came along for the ride. So thank you, Alan.
Yeah, thank you. Bill's my brother from another mother. So there you go. There's the family.
Man. That's it. So the only other miscellaneous was Ben Carter, apparently signed with WWE, which kind of took me by surprise. He seemed like he was excited about AEW, and AEW seemed excited about him. And he kind of pulled the rug out there. I thought he looked good, but I can't remember what my criticism was. Not even a criticism, more just like just something I seen. I can't remember. I think me and you both kind of had the same thought process on him. Definitely upside, but definitely not. He's not somebody I felt like I could really. He would make it beyond mid-card, in my opinion.
Yeah, and that's what's so weird is that I don't feel like he is the kind of guy who WWE is going to put a spotlight on. They're either going to dump him in NXT, in which case that's probably, ironically, his only chance to really shine, or if they do anything with him on Raw or SmackDown, they're not going to have anything to do with him. He's just... They don't give anybody a chance, really, in that regard, unless you've established yourself first. So... he's probably going to have to start with NXT if he wants to have any degree of relevance, I think.
Yeah. For me, I felt like he was going to be more of a... he was going to be more like a luchadors in WCW.
Yeah.
They only got to a certain level in WCW. While they were one of the highlights of my watching WCW. I mean... I can't say I just enjoyed watching them no matter what part of the card they were on, whether they were the opening match, the main event, the co-main, or the mid card. I always enjoyed them.
Yeah.
So, I feel like that is it's kind of where he would be anyway. So, just a guy that I would enjoy watching pretty much.
Yeah.
Who I didn't really think would probably fit in many things storyline wise. That's good. That's just me, my thought, just where my mind is right now. I mean, the guy could totally turn himself into this great character and be one of these guys that you want going for like the TNT title or the tag title with someone or even a world title. Who knows? But he, apparently he's young as shit. I think he's 23.
Yeah, which is another reason why it would make sense for him for sure to start in NXT. But, I don't know. I don't know if it was necessarily a good decision on his part, but, hey, got to do what you got to do.
Yeah. Right. Skylar even said right there, good wrestler, not a good character. That's kind of like what I felt like. But, again, he could turn into a good character. You never know. But I just, at this time, I liked him, but it wasn't like, earth-shattering that, he's not there.
Right.
It kind of sucks, but, it is what it is. Alex says... heard Penta Jr.'s return. Yeah, Alex, Penta's been back. Penta's been back for maybe a month or so.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you're up on the latest. What else we got? Kenny, if 205 Live is still a thing, that's the guy's ceiling, right? And what is 205 Live? I mean, it's I don't really even know how to even get to that. So,
and I mean,
I just
I don't even know if
go ahead.
I don't even know if they still doing if they're doing 205 live. It's something that's really happening in the background now. It used to be like the pre-SmackDown show, and they don't even show it anymore. I don't think on TV. So, yeah, I mean, that's as dark as you're gonna get.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess you take the good with the bad with the guy. I mean, he's young. Maybe WWE was his thing, and AEW just started. So maybe he sees the fact that AEW is kind of overloaded right now, and he's only going to have a certain ceiling himself in AEW up until a certain year or whatever.
Yeah.
Once AEW really gets hitting on all cylinders, gets their second show, kind of tweaks Dark if they do tweak Dark at all. I think then they'll have a lot more opportunities for wrestlers. Okay, Alex said, okay, thanks. I only heard the news today. Yeah, he's yeah, I want to say he's been back a month and a half. Pentagon.
Yeah,
so
I think it's been about.
So yeah, he's been wrestling. Not much, honestly. He's been more out there with. He was on Dark a few times, and he was out there with Eddie Kingston a bunch. So,
Yeah.
All right. So let's get to Dark, man. Dark was kind of, I don't know, kind of quick in terms of what I really gave a shit about. Let's hear from you guys what you liked on Dark, if anything. Just let us know in the chat if you even watched it. If there's anything that stood out to you. The first match for me, I believe it was the first match, right? The 4-way.
That's right. That was first.
Yeah. So oddly enough, maybe I'm wrong, but isn't this the first multi-man match in terms of singles? In AEW history?
I think so. I was thinking the exact same thing. I found it interesting that they would have something like that as a first on Dark.
Right.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
I believe it was. And it was, what's that?
With wrestlers from tag teams.
Exactly. So it was, I particularly liked this match because the fact that I liked the idea that, you finally had Jungle Boy kind of shining on his own, which is what we've been wanting to have happen for quite a while now.
Right. Yeah. Jimmy, what's up, Jimmy? Jimmy's in the house.
What's up, Jimmy?
Ooh. What's up, brother? The 2 Dark Order matches. That's what Jimmy said he's in on. So, yeah, I thought the match was good. It was, obviously they give each other time to get their shit in, as you would say. So it was okay match. It wasn't great, but it was pretty good. I get giving Jungle Boy the win since he's in that title tournament,
Absolutely.
I personally, as all of you know, would have preferred Uno to win. The aftermatch was great because Uno got pinned. It was great having Uno call out the Dark Order to attack Jungle Boy. But where they fucking fucked up was then you had all these other tag team partners come out and run off the Dark Order. So, and then it just turned into a 20-man brawl when you could have, to run off Dark Order, when you could have had Dark Order look strong there, even in the loss. You know what I mean? And
this is just continuing what we've been saying for the last few weeks now. They are just dropping everything with Dark Order, at least in my opinion. This was an opportunity to make them look strong, whether or not they were actually going to have any of their reps win the match. And nope. So
no, they. I don't know. There's just these are the little things that I felt between him, Brodie winning the TNT title and losing it. These are the little things that I felt they fucked up on.
Yep.
And Dark was just another one of those. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Just a little bit of a drop ball where you didn't have to drop the ball. And Skylar, thanks for subscription, man. I just seen you did that.
Thank you.
A little earlier. Appreciate that. To YouTube, which I completely forgot to do all the promotional shit, so I'll do that after we do Dark. Cutler versus Avalon was the other one I had. I love the arrogant start by Avalon attacking Cutler and then yelling at Knox to declare him the winner by forfeit. and he's yelling it, he's screaming, and of course they get their match going. As always, they both do great in the ring, and we end in a double DQ.
Yeah.
They both, the polyhedral die versus the book, almost like kind of a double knockout. They weren't knocked out, but they both hit each other at the same time. Ring the bell, double DQ. I like it. I know it's hokey. I like the count out. I like the double DQ. I think next is going to be the double KO. And how they're going to pay this off, I don't know, but I look forward to it because, as you know, that's, I'm a big fan of these two guys. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
I liked it too, actually. It is something that on paper could look really goofy, but no, it actually works for what they're trying to build here. So the fact that they had the double DQ, and like you said, it leads to an opportunity to have more like double ways of canceling them out until you are finally going to have some type of a winner take all situation with the two of them. So I thought it worked as well.
They're going to do the double DQ, but I have a feeling that even when one of them gets a win, it's going to be by cheating.
Yeah.
So then it's going to be, now we have to have the rematch, and then, whatever. I could see them really taking this for a while, and I don't mind it. This is some kind of little bit of goofy shit, but in a good way.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean, as to where we think like the Young Bucks shit is goofy, but not in a good way. It's not helping their story, as to where this shit I think is helping their story. But Jimmy says Uno had to take the loss because Jungle Boy is in the tournament. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly
it
how.
Made sense.
Yeah. That's how I feel as well. What do you got on Dark yourself? You have anything?
Those matches for sure. The other thing that I found, I guess, somewhat interesting was that they did have my least favorite tag team, Sunny Kiss and the other schmuck, Joey Janela, in singles matches.
Yeah.
Which, again, unfortunately, these matches do highlight why I still don't like either of those two performers.
I didn't watch it. I
watched them a little bit. I had them on the background. I kind of was interested because I did want to see how they were performing, in singles. And again, just not a fan of their overall style at all, whether it's single or tag team. So it was interesting to see. The other thing that I had noted was I did enjoy the I guess it was quick, but Nyla Rose, Kylan King. Again, Nyla is just a beast. So
George, what's up, brother?
What's up, George?
George shouting all the way from Australia, baby. It's Monday morning over there, right, George? What is it, 5, 6 o'clock? Shout out to you for getting with us as much as you possibly can on our Sundays and your Mondays. But yeah, I was almost gonna watch that, but I decided not to.
Yeah.
I figured that's what it would be. So it was just a squash.
It was, but it was interesting at the end. Vicky basically came on the mic. She's trying to basically figure out how to attain championships. Tired of all the cheap opponents that are being, that they're being fed to her. So she's basically saying that we're not going to have Nyla step in the ring again until Shida accepts the challenge to put the AEW title against Nyla. So pretty cool.
And right there, Skylar just asked who's going to go fight Shida at the pay-per-view, and I think that's right there the answer.
There you go. I think it's going
to be Nyla.
Absolutely. They're not going to have this last for long. The pay-per-view's in November. I definitely think you're going to have a situation where we're probably even as early as next week to see that be accepted. So there you go.
Yeah. I don't know. I have a feeling that that's going to lead to Nyla winning the title back, which I don't know. I guess that's okay, but I think Shida's the one shining spot in the women's division.
Yeah, at least
so it's almost like aside from Britt and her great promos and stuff, but wrestling wise, I think she's the cream of the crop in the women's and what keeps it looking reasonable.
Yeah.
Skylar says slow build for Britt Baker then. 100% Skylar. I think it's going to be more of a slow build for Britt. I think you can't put the strap on her. She's got the great she's got the great heel gimmick, but she doesn't have the wrestling to back it up. She looked good her last match, though. I'll give her that.
Yes.
So we'll see. It's just a matter of reps for her, in my opinion.
Yep.
You know, she had some really, really awkward and awful moments early on that, they just really, really soured me on her. Yeah, 2 Raw still, exactly. Let's see. Let me check the chat real quick. See if we missed anything
Jimmy
major.
did mention Red Velvet with a lovey-dovey eyes and drooling and.
Yeah, she's 0-8, bro, or 1-8.
No, she finally
now.
won. So, thank you for bringing that up. That is the other thing that caught my eye was that she finally won a match. I almost did a double take when I saw it because I was like thinking, all right, she's probably just gonna lose again. No, she's out like 1-8 or so. Yeah.
Yep,
and here's the thing that bothers me again about the whole. I know you're right that the rankings don't really mean much here, but it would have been nice for that to be acknowledged that Brandy's at ringside, or not ringside, but at the announcing table, and it would have been nice if somebody brought up that this is Red Velvet's first win. This is cool, and it was not brought up. It was not mentioned at all, which surprised me. Which means they don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I didn't watch it, so I can't even banter with you on that. Yeah. I mean, I guess that does kind of suck.
I don't know. I think it would have been nice to acknowledge it. I think that when you've got somebody who's on an 8-game losing streak and they finally get a win, you would think that would make even somewhat of a headline to say, hey, this is great. Red Velvet got her first win. Nothing.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, that's the whole point. You're kind of right. The whole point of now she's winning is, she's tied to Brandy now. She obviously is now a winner on Dark.
Yep.
So, shout it from the rooftops,
Yep.
All right. Anything else Dark-wise or?
Nothing really notable. Nah.
Okay. So real quick, as always, uncensoredalliance.com. Get everything we do there. All our Facebook groups, our pages, our emails, our links for YouTube, our podcasts, all that stuff. Like, share, subscribe on YouTube. Smash, as the kids say, smash the submit, subscribe and like button. Grab your family's phones, do it there. Help us out. All that's huge for the algorithms. If I one more time, Alan, just punch me through the screen. Twitter, we are at AEW Uncensored. There are no spaces between that. Twitter at AEW Uncensored. Email AEW Uncensored Podcast at gmail.com. Questions, comments, love mail, hate mail, statements, whatever the fuck you want to say, drop us an email. We'll read it on the air. Or we won't if you don't want us to. As far as Facebook, AEW Uncensored Podcast, drop it in the search bar. Our page and our group will pop up. Join the group, like the page. We post everything we do on the page. The group doesn't have too many members right now, so it's not really popping, but hopefully soon. As far as the podcast, every third-party podcast app, you can find us there. We are on iTunes, so review us, please. Skylar, thank you for that review. I believe it was last week. That was awesome. That's huge, too. Again, algorithms. iTunes is the biggest platform for podcasts in the world, so rating us, writing a review there, subscribing to us on iTunes is huge. You can catch us on Google Podcasts, Deezer, TuneIn, Stitcher, and iHeart Radio. As far as getting on the show live with us, like a call-in, join our chat, our Skype chat. Join us. We have the link in the description. It's in the description of the podcast. It's in the YouTube description. Click it. It's on our website. Click it. Send me a message. I'll put you in the chat with everybody. And from there, we could drag you onto the show. And you could come on and give your opinions live on Sundays with us. So, and if you're listening to the podcast, we are live Sundays on YouTube at 3:05 Eastern in the U.S. So just keep that in mind. Like George checks us out. He's in Australia. Right now it's Monday, 6:30 a.m. for him. So that's it. Sorry I missed that. got a little caught up with all the possible technical difficulties, and all our great friends that join us for the show every week, and new friends that are joining us that have been listening to the podcast version and haven't been able to join us live. So I got a little all sidetracked. But let's see what the chat says.
Well, Jim wants to give the Red Velvet the strap.
Oh my God, Jim!
That'll take.
She's too skinny. She's too skinny, Jim.
She is a bit small.
It's too skinny, bro.
But then again, nobody's really standing outside of 2 or 3 women in that whole division. So who knows? I'm
just joking because we know why Jimmy just thinks she's sexy.
Yeah.
We know why Jimmy likes her. All right, so Dynamite, start us off, man. What do you got?
Well, we got FTR versus Best Friends. Good way to start the show for sure, I think. To start off with the AEW World Tag Team Championship. A lot of back and forth with it. Relatively good match. I thought it was good. I didn't really find anything about it that was bad at all. It was there wasn't like a whole ton of interference or whatever like that you would usually have in these matches. So pretty solid match. I like that FTR basically stole the win, which is, it's good. They're building them in that fashion right there, that they're not, it wasn't clean. So there is still a lot that they could do with this. And yeah, I mean, not much else to say other than what happened afterwards, but the match itself, very solid, I thought.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was okay. It was great at times and too clunky at times for me. I felt like it had moments where it was too clunky, at times where it was great. I like how they took the win. I was hearing a lot of... I should have went back and watched it. They were saying how I like the belt to the head, boom, got the pin. I really like how they executed it. Apparently, I missed the part with the ref. The ref apparently totally kind of ignored the belt being swung, or he knew it was swung.
Yeah.
And he ducked, and so I missed that part. So maybe if I had caught that, I was more focused on some other shit going on. I think them bringing the belt over and stuff, and him having the belt hand, and maybe that's how I missed it. But maybe I wouldn't have enjoyed the finish as much if I had caught that. But I enjoyed the finish how it was. Let's take that ref issue out of it, because I didn't see it. So I'm only speaking from what I recall seeing. So I should have went back and watched. I say this every week. Oh, I want to double check. You're like, I'll hear somebody mention something and I'll go, let me go make sure I didn't, because I missed that. Let me see how I feel, but I'll stick to what I felt. I liked it. In terms of not knocking them out with the belt to get the win. One thing is, I'm tired of these tag matches, man. These fucking refs have even a lot of matches. I want to see refs have control of something. I don't know about you, but
yeah, you're right.
That's what makes them.
It is more than just the tag matches. I think you're right. They haven't yet really established how to use the referees as part of the storytelling. I guess that's still something they're behind on.
The refs just they're not executing, they're not keeping things organized. They're not holding accountable wrestlers. That's part of the fucking story, man.
Yeah.
You gotta get that shit under wraps, man. This ain't the fucking indies where you're just there to count a pinfall, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or be a trope, you know what I mean?
They're window dressing.
You're there.
Is what they are here.
You're there to help tell the fucking story, and the story you're telling me is a goddamn fucking clusterfuck.
Yeah.
The arcade bit. Now, okay, real quick before we get into that, I was listening to a podcast, and it's funny. He mentioned how Chuck Taylor, I can't remember his word. I should have fucking noted it. His words were like, I just feel like Chuck is, he just felt like Chuck was maybe not always there, or he's just like a step behind, and it's exactly what I say about Chuck Taylor. He gets fucking lazy. He can wrestle when he wants, but then he's lazy. Apparently I didn't catch it either, but apparently he was sitting there waiting, looking over his shoulder, waiting to have something waiting for a move to get done on him, and it just makes it look bad. And that's exactly what I've said about Chuck Taylor for a while now. It's like he has moments where he can wrestle, but then he has these odd moments where he just like he'll be kneeling on the apron, just staring out of the corner of his eye, waiting for his time. Bro, you got to be a little less conspicuous.
Yeah.
You got to really put some effort into your craft. It's like you've been doing this so long. These are nuances that should come natural to you. You shouldn't be telegraphing or looking like a goofball after all these years of wrestling. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Before we get to the arcade part, let's see what we got in the chat. Has to be Young Bucks versus FTR at Full Gear. Who wins if that's the case? Yeah, Skylar says I hate the Young Bucks right now. Yeah, man, I'm with you, man. I have a feeling, I got to be honest, I thought about this the other day. I'm feeling like the Bucks might not win this tournament.
I was thinking the exact same thing. I don't necessarily see it happening.
I think that's going to be the thing that pushes them over the edge and puts them full heel.
Yes. Yes.
Because I still think that they haven't done enough with FTR and the Bucks.
Yep, agreed.
Interaction-wise. They've had small interactions, nothing significant. So I feel like the Bucks might lose this tournament.
Yep.
Just my opinion. I mean, Alan apparently agrees.
I agree.
With me. Yeah, yo, dude, Scott, holy fuck, Skylar. That's part of my notes right here. Skylar just called it right there. Chuck gets knocked out of the ring and disappears for 5 minutes every match. Yes. I swear to God. Yo, I swear to God.
He takes a nap.
Here, I'm going to read my notes word for word. The arcade was stupid, comma, Chuck being laid out for so long off being swept off his feet onto the apron was extreme. Because literally, all that happened was his legs were pulled out from under him and he face planted on the apron. And then Chuck disappeared. Then Chuck is gone for half the match.
Yeah.
Where the fuck did Chuck go, dude? Like, what are you doing? So that is hilarious that you said that, Scholar. Exactly how I feel. And he says Butcher and Blade, baby. Yeah, they might win the title. Not win the title. They might be the winners of the tournament.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing
that. No, not at all. I'd love it. Because I mean, I'm a big fan of Butcher and Blade.
Yep.
You know, I mean, we spoke about it. I think Butcher again, he's a little plotting on some things, and he misses a lot of guys diving on him. But I mean, they're not going to win the titles, but I'd love to see that match in at the pay-per-view.
Yes.
And if it works for the Bucks not winning to further that storyline, that'd be great. So anyway, I thought that was funny that Scholar said exactly what I was thinking with Chuck, where he just vanishes. Like he gets knocked out every fucking match. He's gone for how long? The arcade, like I said in the beginning of that note, the arcade spot was stupid. I see they needed it to bring Miro out, but I just think it was stupid. It was contrived, and I liked Miro when he came out, and he wrecked shop. Like, that's the Miro you want.
That's what I'm looking for. I was thinking the exact same thing.
I hate the catalyst for it.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying?
It's giving him that element of silliness.
That's right,
still.
baby. Great minds to think alike.
Yeah, he's still got that element of silliness.
It was ridiculous. The catalyst for the great attack on these guys was a stupid fucking arcade game. Come on, man. I think this is where AEW, I agree, let people do what they want to do, okay? But this is where I think like AEW's like, Miro, yeah, we want you. Do whatever you want. We want you to be a beast, but do it in any way you want.
Yeah.
Well, do it by being a video game lover. You know.
It takes a lot of the oomph out of his veracity, I guess, you know?
Right. I understand there's guys that are very quiet guys that are beasts when it comes to getting in the ring, you know? It's MMA, you know, there's a lot of quiet guys in MMA.
Yeah.
But when they fight, they're fucking savages. You know what I mean?
Yep.
The one thing I did enjoy, it goes to the match afterward. But real quick, maybe I missed. How the fuck did I miss part of my notes here? Okay, this is something else too with the tag match. They're doing this double team shit without tags. These guys are just hopping in the ring, doing double teams and hopping out. All right. I understand you breaking up like a pin or whatever, and you're not the tag guy. That's history 101 for wrestling, tag wrestling. But these guys just running in and deciding let's do moves on a guy, and we didn't even make the tag to get the double team. You know what I mean? Again, it goes back to the refs.
Yeah, I mean, that didn't bother me so much really because of the fact that I do feel like we see that in a lot of tag team matches. They quickly come in, they double team. But I do see what you're saying in the sense that it does tie into the lack of control by the refs.
The ref just sits there and lets him do it.
The ref is not counting. 1, 2, 3, get out of the ring.
Shouldn't even be a count. Yeah. There's no emphasis on getting the other wrestler out of the ring. Yeah. They didn't tag. Yeah. They didn't tag, so there should be no count.
You're right. There's no counting.
You know what I mean? They're already tagging and getting 10 seconds versus 5 seconds, the old school style. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which, it's fine, but, I don't know. It just gets sloppy. What do you say? Skylar says it always happens near the end of matches. Which one, Skylar? Give me a heads up what you mean there. But okay, so while I'm waiting for him to let me know what he was talking about there, we get Miro and Kip. They beat up some jobbers. Miro looked great doing it. He went for the camel clutch.
Yes.
And he, slipped off the guy's head at first, and he had, it was kind of funny. It was just,
It was very cartoonish. It was just like, he said, got it on the hair. And
yeah. Skylar said, the no tag team, double team.
Okay.
Exactly. He says it always happens near the end of the matches. Yeah, it's just kind of annoying.
Yeah.
It's one of the things. I think AEW just needs to clean up the indie shit,
Yes.
There's just too much indie shit. Too much. They have obviously since the beginning, but they still haven't found a way to get these guys on board with these multi-man matches.
Yeah.
They really have not. They've slowed some guys down, like Private Party. Good Lord, if Private Party early on, it was like just a fucking blur. What are you guys doing?
Yeah.
You're sloppy as fuck because you're trying to get everything in. And, now Private Party, when I watch them, I fucking like them. I liked them before. I thought they had a lot of talent. But now it's like they're not trying to get everything in. They're more controlled.
Yeah, they tighten things up quite a bit.
Yeah, they're that much better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Trim the fat, right? Trim the fat.
Yeah.
You don't need to get everything in. Pick a move set, change it around every now and again, and you'll be good. You don't have to have the same move set constantly.
Yeah.
Add in one or two and remove another, and that type of shit. So then we get Miro and Kip with the promo. You got Miro speaking Bulgarian, I would assume, which I like. It's going to the beast, like that beast, like what we want, the Bulgarian brute style, Then he comes back out of it and speaks English, but with this heavy accent.
Yeah.
He has an accent, but he speaks English very well. But this was a heavy, heavy accent. You know what I mean? Not sure if it was the accent, like on accident, or he could just because he was coming out of Bulgarian into English, and it was just his transition kind of led him to that heavier accent.
Well, the funny thing is, back in the day, both him and Lana would never be consistent with their accents. So this is not old at all. This happened a bit in WWE as well. So I'm honestly thinking that it is an accent. I don't think that was done on purpose. He seems to have some kind of a challenge holding a persona or holding an accent, and it is kind of funny to watch. So it was very familiar to me for what I was seeing.
I did notice, didn't he kind of have, was it last week or something? I felt he spoke Bulgarian as well. In a recent,
I think so. I think he did.
Maybe it was just in ring. He was just.
I think it was in ring. I don't think it was like part of a promo or anything like that.
Wasn't in a promo. Yeah. But I do like the heavier accent. If he could stick with,
it's
better.
What I
mean? I know it sounds stupid and it sounds, but I think it makes him more menacing.
You just took the word out of my mouth. I was about to say the word menacing. I'm not kidding. I was going to use the word menacing. He sounds more menacing with that accent when it's consistent.
Right. Right, here we are. We're like making like accents are menacing. Like, yeah, whatever, man. Like, we don't mean it like that. You know what I'm saying? But that's the thing. The fucking, the Russian with the heavy accent,
Right.
the bad guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that's that's always been a great a great heel character.
Yeah.
So all right, we'll move to the next segment. The MJF announcement. This shit just fell off the rails. Kenny, I know you're MJF 2021 and all, but this kind of fell off the rails for me. He brings out Jericho. Sammy looks like a fucking Oompa Loompa. He needs to calm down to the spray tan. I don't know what the fuck he did. I don't know if he changed spray tans or what, but it was awful. So anyway, they come out. He got the jacket for Sammy. He gets Sammy the 5XL jacket. And then with that, Jericho and him start bantering back and forth. You take it over here. I just felt like the back and forth was too much.
It was a little too much.
Goofy.
You got MJF complimenting Jericho's physique and his hair. He wants to touch his hair, which is weird. It was, Jericho at that point was just like, cut the shit. He wants to hear the announcement. And I don't know. It did get a little bit too much there. MJF was bringing up Animal Planet, saying you'll never see two piranhas eating each other. They're predators. They go swimming around prey. And he finally says, it's possible that he kind of sort of wants to join the inner circle, which I thought made him look weak. Like, I get what they're doing here. He was doing a lot of playful banter with them back and forth over all these weeks, but for him to finally succumb and say that kind of bothered me a little bit. I did think it made him look a little bit weak. I know they had to finally advance this whole thing, but Ortiz is, he's like, well, no, we don't want you in the group. And Jericho jumps in and says, well, we're going to discuss things as a group. And they're going to meet for a steak dinner next week, MJF and Jericho. That has the potential to be funny. I like restaurant setting stuff. If they have something setting in a restaurant, maybe this will finally get more entertaining again, but we'll see.
Here's my thing. I want MJF more serious, less goofy.
Yes.
I want more in the vein of Flair and Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard than I want in Jericho.
Yeah, he's gotten more goofy as the weeks have gone on. And it kind of hit a crescendo this week with it.
Yeah, I thought it was. I don't know. I just thought it was so they've done that back and forth thing like 3 or 4 times now. The quick back and forth. And it's like, I don't know. I'm like,
yeah,
just cringy.
It's a little silly now. Much. They've been doing it for a while now. I hope this comes to a head next week. I mean, I hope that with the steak dinner thing that this turns into something, and I hope it comes to a head. And I don't know what it leads to as far as the pay-per-view goes. Are they actually going to have a heel versus heel match? I don't know what they're going to do, but yeah, I want to finally see this go somewhere.
I think basically they're going to use this to kind of split up the inner circle.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously,
yeah, you mentioned that before.
They, Santana and Ortiz are against it, blah, blah, blah. I still would love Santana and Ortiz to go with MJF and Wardlow.
Yes.
That would be my ultimate wish
yes.
as a fan,
I agree. I think that would be a good grouping. If they're going to split them off that way, I think that would be a nice grouping.
Yeah. Let's see if we got what we got in the chat. So Kenny says, this guy having the class to put his ego aside and join the stale faction to give them some life. What an amazing dude. that was pretty funny. That's pretty good. And then James says, MJF had on inner circle knee pads, as in sucking their dick. I would assume that's where you're going with that. And then, of course, Kenny with the MJF 2021. Jericho getting a burnt steak. That would be funny. That would be funny.
Would be pretty good.
If MJF picks a spot and then they come out with a burnt steak for him. That would really be funny. What else do we got? We got MJF didn't know Sammy's size and it was honest mistake.
Sure.
Yeah, that was funny. That was kind of funny. I'll give you that one. Yeah, too much bullshit.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's the reverse. Here's the reverse though. I enjoyed a lot of it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like it was like a guilty pleasure thing. I enjoyed it, but it's too much bullshit. I think as much as like I enjoyed parts of it and I like some of it, I also would have been great if it was just, you know, less bullshit and just more straightforwardness. If that if you understand what I'm getting.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I just felt like it was, while I enjoyed it to a degree, not all of it. I'm not in like all of it, but there were some funny parts to me, and I was smiling here and there. I would have preferred something a little bit a bit more serious.
Yes, for sure.
So, then we move to Britt Baker with Shivani, the segment with Shivani, and
I don't know.
As I mentioned, you didn't like this. See, I like this. Is where.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, go.
Well, I was just gonna say it was entertaining, but now it's just it's a little too much.
This is where the serious, but the not serious. This is where the little bit of goof and overboard works. You know what I mean? But we can't, like, my opinion is you can't have it everywhere, and I don't think it works with Jericho and MJF. I think it works with Britt Baker.
No, Britt Baker was fine. With Tony Schiavone, it was a little much.
Well, they've been doing the whole Tony thing where Tony's her buddy, and Tony kind of, no matter how bad she treats him, Tony, like, is, it's Britt, It's all, she's still my buddy, So... I enjoyed it. I enjoyed, like, cover up, cover yourself with the towel and this and that, and and Shivani plays it great, and Britt's been doing really good with this promo shit. So I get a kick out of it. I really do.
Yeah.
Tell me, break it down where your issue is.
I mean, it just, the whole thing with Shivani at the spa with the waxing and everything, it's just a bit silly. I do like
the 40-year-old virgin, like Jimmy said.
Yeah, like the Brit part of it, if you were to separate the Brit part, yes, I do think that, again, she's performing fantastically. I just don't know about the whole deal with the spa. It was a little goofy. It was a little too goofy.
All right.
But taking apart her performance, I thought it was great.
I think they're framing Britt in a great way.
Yeah.
And Britt's doing a great job of doing
that.
I enjoy that they're bringing the baddest bitch moniker in.
Yes.
I really like if they're gonna bring that kind of moniker onto her. You know what I mean? If they're gonna turn that into her, her nickname or her whatever the fuck you want.
It's like Queen Slayer for Anna Jay. It's very marketable.
Right, very marketable. I really like it. I hope they run with it in those terms. So that was a good part of that segment as well.
Yeah.
Coming out of that, what do we got in the chat? George says, "Oh my God, Britt and Tony." Yeah. Oh my God, yes. See. And Jimmy said 40-year-old virgin, and then Skylar said, "Yeah, haha, yeah, Jim."
Yeah, it was a bit 40-year-old virgin-ish with the waxing and everything. It was a little silly, I thought, but that's me.
Yeah, Jimmy said, I'm sorry, Skylar says that they both get a happy ending. That's funny. That is great. Kenny says, if Tony would have yelled Kelly Clarkson with this waxing, would have been brilliant.
Yeah, I might have laughed at that quite a bit if he had done that. Kelly Clarkson.
That's funny. That's funny. But I think maybe that would have went too far, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I thought maybe it would have been a little too far. I enjoyed the waxing because it, live waxing. Who doesn't enjoy a guy getting his fucking chest hairs ripped out, But if he did yell at Kelly Clarkson, it would have been a chuckle, but it would have also been like,
Yeah.
I think the live waxing was enough of a homage,
Right. Or maybe if he had yelled the name of somebody who was more Kelly Clarkson was so back then, if there was like if he had I don't know, Demi Lovato or somebody else. I guess if he had shouted the name of a different artist who's more of a name today, that might have been funny.
Yeah. So we got Cody and Orange. Let's take it away. You're an Orange guy.
Fucking hell, man. This, first of all, seeing Cody back again with the blonde hair, I'm like, well, again, emphasizing what was the point of all this? He's back with the blonde hair. They didn't even keep the new look. And this just felt like, again, it felt like nothing happened over the last few weeks. He's back, defending against Orange, and it's the same thing all over again. Match itself was fine. Dark Order was there. Dark Order gets sent to the back. The match itself, technically was okay. I was feeling nothing from this, and I get a bad taste in my mouth now whenever I see Cody, because I feel like the entire storyline with him and the Dark Order was just so disgustingly wasted, and it's like we've rewound 8 to 12 weeks back to when he's just defending the title every week, going, now it's Orange Cassidy, and okay.
Yeah, so boring at times, fun at times, good, okay match, nothing to write home about for me. Good enough, it was a solid match.
It was a solid match, for sure.
It was a solid match. I don't want to denigrate it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Apparently, Darby's getting the title shot at the pay-per-view. So, what happened with Team Taz? Where, that just goes away for the next 3 or 4 weeks? Or
I
what?
guess so.
I mean, you got Darby in a fucking middle of a fucking feud with Team Taz.
Yep.
And he's getting a title shot for the TNT title.
Yep.
So that you basically take him out of the feud he's in to prepare for the TNT title match he's getting.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and apparently Orange Cassidy's getting a rematch next week.
Yeah, which is weird because, again, so how does that work with the whole idea of the title? I don't know. They
use the finish, the almost pin as a catalyst. So I see what they're doing there.
Yeah.
But do we really want Orange Cassidy versus Cody too, or even if it's 2 weeks from now, do we really want that twice? You know what I mean?
Yep.
I'm good.
Yep.
I don't need it. Like you said, it's just Cody out there again, running it out with somebody.
Exactly.
Why do I want to see the same matchup twice in 3 weeks or twice in 2 weeks?
Exactly. It's a why and what are we really going to be getting out of that? And will it actually build something? Because if you're going to have a face versus face, that is really the kind of a thing where that's more of a, I guess it's a special attraction. You have it once or so. It's saying good thing if you have a heel versus heel. But if you're going to do this 2 weeks in a row, unless you're planning to use this as a vehicle to build something, then what are we doing?
Yeah.
I don't know how you feel about that.
Cody's back to blonde. Cody's doing some arrogant shit again after he said he was going to be, I'm not going to the dark side. He's doing push-ups. He's doing, so who knows? I mean, maybe they're still using this as a way to push him to the dark side because, like you said, he's going against a face 2 out of the next 4 weeks at least.
Yep. Exactly.
Exactly.
And it doesn't build. It's spinning the wheels. You're just spinning the wheels with him. I mean, you got to shit or get off the pot. If you're going to have this constant face versus face, somebody's got to flip. Otherwise, it just feels like there's nothing much in there to really care about. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What else did I have with this? The finish was great. I like the timing on it. I know what they're trying to do with the, you're saying with the face versus face, and they're trying to garner excitement with the finish.
Yeah.
But it just didn't garner the excitement for me to want to see it again.
No, same. Same.
So, I mean, that's where they were. That's what they were trying to do. It just didn't resonate with me. I'm using a lot of big words today, huh? All right.
Good for you.
We're on point today, baby. Now I just got to stop throwing so many ums in between it all. No, I'm kidding.
There you go.
So Dark Order comes out. Silver snatched the belt to attack Cody, while the rest of the Dark Order distracted pretty much everybody there, because obviously there's 500 people at ringside. Then of course Silver gets thwarted by Orange Cassidy, because Orange Cassidy, he's a good guy. He's not going to let them, he's not going to let them basically attack Cody.
Right.
He can't. The face can't win that way or whatever. You know how it goes.
Right.
So then our Dark Order gets ran off by the ref. They get thrown out. It's like, how can you throw out the Dark Order or run them off when they came out on their own? It's not like they were ringside for the match or anything. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
They came out on their own. So it's again another small thing that's dumb, and if people are looking for it, it makes it look bad.
Yeah, very much so.
I don't know. It didn't help the Dark Order look good, but it kept them in the Cody and TNT title picture.
Yeah.
Going forward for at least another week. So who knows where this all ends up? Hopefully it ends up into something more serious coming down the line. We'll see.
Yeah.
It would have been better if they just came in and wreck shop, even if it cost everybody the match. But half steps as always in the Dark Order booking.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Just typical half steps. What'd you have about any of that? Anything?
I mean, nothing much else. I did find it interesting because I can't remember the last time I've seen something like this. The match actually ended because the time expired. That was curious. I don't think you've ever, back in the day when we were kids, this match is scheduled for one fall with a 1 hour time limit. You never saw it go to the time limit and then the time expires.
Not in the WWF, bro.
Yeah.
In WCW and NWA, it did.
Oh, it did. You would have the time expired.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Fair enough then. That's pretty okay. Fair enough.
Listen,
it was interesting.
That circus tent shit. They didn't play real wrestling, but
I mean, at the very least, I guess it gave a reason as to why this had to happen again, that they had to have the match again. But I just don't think I'm really. I don't know. I'm not waiting with bated breath for this to happen again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's kind of how I feel about it.
Yeah, they've done it. I mean, they've done that. They've done that a lot in the past. The WCW, NWA. I mean, I'm trying to remember. Holy fuck! I should know this one. Oh my god! I'm not even gonna embarrass myself by saying it, but okay. I'm not even gonna do it. I should remember that, but maybe I will. Sting versus Flair at Clash 1.
Oh, did that end? Did that end with the time limit?
I believe that went time limit.
Oh wow!
And they had judges in case it went time limit. I can't remember, man. I'm embarrassed that I can't remember. Obviously Sting's my man, but my memory, bro. I fucking can't remember what I ate this afternoon. So.
Well, that's no excuse when it comes to Sting Flair, man. Come on.
Yeah, bro. Come on.
You should have every moment memorized, the two of them.
Listen, you're lucky I remembered where it happened, what year it happened, who the fuck wrestled, and that they had what you call it? Not refs. What do you call them? Judges. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and I do remember one judge. It was the Wonder Years kid that Eric Bischoff was friends with.
Yeah.
The older brother. I forget his name.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I also forgot the name, but I know exactly who you're talking about.
So, you're lucky I remembered that. But I'm trying to remember. That's just one that came off the top of my head.
Sure.
I want to say that Ricky Steamboat had a couple.
Okay.
I could be wrong, man. I really, I don't want to fucking embarrass myself any more than I already have.
But it's the kind of thing that I could see making more sense in a long, lengthy blood feud in order to keep it going, that you would have something end when the time expires and it keeps the blood feud going. But again, these two guys are not in a feud. So it's kind of like a lazy way to just end it to say, okay, we want to have a reason to have another match. But there's not much to care about with it.
Right. I mean, that's basically what it was for, to see we're going to have another match.
Mm-hmm.
TV time ran out, and it's up to you as a fan if that kept you wanting another match.
Yes.
Cuz I feel like they've yeah, man. I'm going to have to fucking check this out and bring it up next week, because I swear this happened, like you said, a lot to keep feuds going or get the return match. And early 90s, I feel like it's happened a bunch, especially in like TV title matches maybe, or time limit matches, tough stuff like that.
Right,
so,
right.
I mean, maybe I'm just fucking misremembering. Who knows? I'm fucking embarrassing the shit out of myself right now. But I don't give a fuck. Whatever. Like I said, I'll tell you all day long. And I mean, how often I tell you, my fucking memory is just trash. That's why I have to take notes, man. I have giant notes here.
There's no wrong with that. Taking notes is, it's healthy.
I don't know how people do it. Like, they get shit right off the top of their head. They just think back to what they watched. Like,
I think a lot of folks do notes, honestly. I think when you're doing recaps and things like that, notes are important.
Yeah. I'm that guy that needs that, like, previously on,
Right.
Before they should do that for Dynamite. Previously on Dynamite.
Right.
Give us like a 30, 40 second, like, what happened last week. I literally am that guy, man. I'm like, when it comes like to the new season, I'm like, fuck, that was last year. What happened?
Yeah.
So, anyway, back to wrestling at this time, I guess.
Yeah. Previously on AEW Uncensored.
So we get Hardy a promo with his family out there at ringside, not ringside, but front row, on the floor there with the rest of the not the fans, the other wrestlers in the crowd.
Yeah.
Says he's cleared to wrestle again. Then as he's talking, video starts playing. Somebody's burning they got their back to you, and they're burning some poster-sized Matt Hardy images with a lighter. And surprise, surprise, it's Sammy. We discussed this. We weren't sure if Sammy and him were going to move on from each other because it's been pretty snake bit, or if they were going to, continue their feud. So looks like they're continuing the feud, and Sammy says he's the one who had attacked him previous to the, Private Party and Jericho and what's his name's tag match. I believe it was one of the main events. Hager.
Yeah. That's
Remember
right.
when he got attacked
Yes.
in the back.
Yeah.
And he says he's not finished with him, and he's basically gonna every time he's back, he's gonna put him back out, and then he gets cleared again, he's gonna put him out again, and just keep the process going. The wording worked for me in the promo by Sammy.
Yeah.
I think it was good. I think a little more grit would have worked. For me, a little more dark, gritty performance in terms of how he projected it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How he projected the words. But other than that, I thought, all right, we're back to Hardy and Sammy. I wasn't really interested in his prior.
I'm not either. I'm honestly, the last few weeks, I just sound like everybody's pissed in my cornflakes, but when it comes to AEW, but honestly, I'm ready for Matt to go away. I'm ready for him to retire. I don't really think that there's much more they can really do with him outside of him creating maybe a brand new character. Matt Hardy 1.0 sucks. He's already beaten everything else into the ground with his other personas. Unless this is going to lead into something else, like completely out of nowhere with him having a new character that's different from everything else, I kind of shrug at it. It's just like, oh, really? Okay, more Matt Hardy. And more Matt Hardy and Sammy, which is, again, we have seen, I think, more than enough of at this point.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think Hardy doesn't move enough anymore, like from all his injuries. He doesn't move swift enough. Obviously, definitely want him with the company in terms of backstage.
Sure.
So.
Oh yeah, I think in terms of like being involved, absolutely. More power to him if he can have some kind of a thing being involved. But I just think that in terms of him being a performer, there's not much there anymore, really, to warrant any kind of excitement. Or, I mean, I'd love to know if anybody is really looking forward to seeing this feud continue.
Yeah, I'm not so much, and I'm a Sammy guy.
Yeah, me too. No, me too. I mean, and it's not so much on Sammy's side as it is on Matt's side.
Yeah. So, all right, let's go to the chat real quick. We got some stuff came through. Skylar asks, what gimmick will they have at the pay-per-view? That's a good question. I hope they don't have any gimmick, because last time they tried a fucking gimmick, he almost died. I have a feeling it'll just be a straight match. What about you? What do you think?
I think so, too. I think it will.
You got Jimmy. Jimmy says, not feeling Sammy and Hardy. Then Kenny says they need to pull the trigger on the Hardy compound match, the only match that can safely get them through the cursed feud. Through this cursed feud. Yeah, I'm wondering when that's coming, too. I mean, that's you would expect that was coming. They've kind of made it a possibility for like months now. I'm looking forward to it if it ever happens. And then Skylar says, have Hardy put his career on the line. That's a possibility. I mean, I don't want to push the guy out now. It's these are just vibes that we're all getting. It's
right.
not like if he's there, he's there. I'm not going to hate on it.
Right.
But
yeah, same.
Right now, I don't have much interest myself. While I don't have interest, and you guys don't have interest, and Alan may not have interest, there's, a million people that might have interest, But I was also, you got to understand, I'm not a WWF guy. So I have no investment in Hardy whatsoever.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen a Matt Hardy match. So.
And I never really cared about him much at all in WWE whatsoever. His best moments, I think, were when he was with TNA. Big right. Money Matt and Broken Matt and everything else.
Right. And excuse me, I mean, I've seen a Hardy match, obviously, in AEW. I mean, in WWF.
Sure.
I don't think I've ever seen a Hardy's match or a Matt Hardy match or a Jeff Hardy match. Actually, I watched Jeff Hardy versus Sting when he was drunk, because I just recently seen that.
Right.
Because obviously, I heard about it, and I was like, let me check it out. So, but again, so I don't have an investment in Hardy. So that's where my mindset comes from.
Same.
Let's see what else we got in the chat. Jimmy says Hardy needs to do cinematic matches. Yeah, I agree, but there's only so many cinematic matches you can do, man, And Alex says Jeff Hardy was better than Matt. Yeah, I mean, that's what everybody says. Jeff Hardy was the guy taking the bumps.
Well, Jeff Hardy was a better in-ring performer. Both of them sucked on the mic. I mean, until Matt actually developed his new characters in TNA, neither of them were great on the mic, and Jeff has never been great on the mic. Jeff has always been awful in that regard, and then the dude has been drunk and on drugs most of his career. Quite frankly, I think it's ridiculous that WWE keeps giving him chance after chance after chance. He's not even, I mean, he's well past his prime at this point. So the fact that they keep pushing him as much as they do just doesn't make any sense to me. I think, personally, I think that match with Sting, in 2008 in TNA, when he was drugged out of his mind and Bischoff had to stop the match, that should have been the end of Jeff Hardy. Like, my sharp, honest, no fucks given opinion, that should have been the end of Jeff Hardy anywhere in this business. The fact that anybody gave him a chance after that horrendous performance, it embarrassed Sting, it embarrassed Bischoff, it embarrassed the entire organization. And I just can't believe that he got another shot after that.
They should have never let him go out.
They should have never let him go out.
Them.
Right, exactly. That was on them to even let him go out. But
whoever was in charge, that was on them.
Absolutely. But when he went out, I mean, wow, that was awful. That was something where you eliminate somebody from that profession for life after a performance like that. That's my opinion. But I could be harsh, I could be very harsh, but that's my opinion. So long story short, outside of some of the, table ladders and chairs matches that they had in terms of in-ring performers, and they were fantastic in-ring performers back in their day, I do not think much at all of the Hardy Boys. Neither of them. So
yeah. All right, so let's stop beating up Matt Hardy.
Yeah, let's leave Matt Hardy alone.
Because I don't hate the guy. I
don't hate him.
I have no investment in him.
I'm just bored. Yeah, exactly. I'm just bored of him. I just have no right. Like, you could be giving this time to somebody else.
Yeah. So then we move to the 4-man tag match for next week. They're doing a drawing. They have about 6, 7, 8 teams out there. I don't even know. They got the tumbler in the ring, choosing who's going to be in that 4-team tag match next week.
Yeah.
So
Yay!
we get our favorite multi-man matches. So we get Butcher Blade, Private Party, Silver Reynolds, and of course the Bucks. Yep. Butcher Blade, I forget who said that in the chat. I believe it was Skylar. Was it Skylar or Kenny? Said
about them winning it.
Yeah, they thought they could win it. I'm gonna go against the Bucks winning, like I said earlier. I just think that it plays for the story better if they lose.
I still agree. Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? And here's why this multi-tag match works in them losing and not losing any shine, because they don't need to be the ones to take the pin.
That's true.
So they lose no shine by losing the match because they don't have to take the pin.
That's true.
That's why they made it a multi-man. So take that into consideration as well. That's why we're getting a multi-tag match instead of just a straight-up tag match. Winner takes FTR.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that goes to the Bucks, obviously not moving forward, but moving them forward into the heel turn. Now, this time, I loved how the Bucks did the super kicks.
Yeah.
This worked for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I really, this hit me this was great. I love this. They're in the ring, bang, super kick. Then they kind of Private Party. They kind of handshake. Listen, man, calm down. We're good. Handshake, boom, super kick. For me, it was great. I initially in my notes put we all knew they were going to go into the pay-per-view for the title shot, so no surprise. But I've changed that. Obviously, before the show, as I said earlier, I think they lose. I think they lose. They don't win. They don't lose per se straight out, but they don't win this match to move them to the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to further the storyline with them losing. And then Skylar says, yep, Butcher and Blade. And I'll go with that, Skylar. I'm with you. I think Butcher and a Blade. Do you have the title tournament in by any chance?
I do.
Handy?
I don't have it handy.
Okay,
I could certainly look it up. Least research.
Kenny said least research, right? Kenny says, and Jesus, least research and most ums. I'll say this. I'll start this one more time. Kenny says, I said that 3 times now. AEW forgetting they have rankings. Okay, I'll take you to task. I've said this before. I don't care about rankings. I know they say, oh, we're going to do rankings, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't bother me what they said. I like that I don't mind that they use these types of things to jump rankings because that's how they move their stories ahead. So for me, it doesn't aggravate me. If that may, I don't know about you, Alan. I don't know if you're so tough. Like a lot of people literally, because they said it, are so hard up against AEW when they don't, they do something like this to kind of like go around the rankings.
I mean, we have talked about this. I am a little bit of a fence sitter here, and I'll say why. Your reasonings for why it would not make sense for them to adhere to it are absolutely sound. It would not make sense if you literally had to go by the rankings for proper storytelling. But that being said, AEW should have realized that going in and not even fucking done it. So I kind of look at it both ways. You're right that it doesn't make any sense to do it, but it's like announcing a major feature of a new appliance and the feature doesn't work, or doing something else with the appliance negates the feature. Then why is the feature even on that appliance? Why do I even need this new spit pickup vacuum feature if the spit pickup doesn't work? Or if it gets countered by something else? Your reasons are sound as to why there shouldn't be rankings in professional wrestling. But that's why AEW never should have even had it. So that's kind of how I look at it. I mean, it would have been interesting. It would have been a very unique way of storytelling if they actually did stringently adhere to it. And that would be different from anything else that's in this business. It would be very interesting to see. But yeah, you would eventually get gummed up with the storytelling if you had to do that. If you had to stick to it so fervently, it would screw up the storytelling. So
right. Well, here's the thing: WCW had rankings in the early 90s.
Yeah.
I don't again, I was a kid. I don't remember it so clearly. I just remember the rankings. I don't think I gave a shit. The rankings to me was more like, where do my favorite wrestlers sit in the rankings?
Sure.
You know what I mean? I
think that's what the purpose of it is. Yeah.
Right. I didn't necessarily go, because Jim Ross would run down the top 10, and I didn't go. For me, it was like, oh, Dustin Rhodes is 5. That's awesome. You know what I mean? I didn't go, does that mean Dustin Rhodes is getting the U.S. title shot or the TV title shot? I didn't care. Like, it didn't matter to me.
Yeah.
I had my guys. I cared about my guys. I looked at that for where they are because they're my guys. That's old school kid, pre-fucking Mark, well, I mean, that's a true Mark right there. Pre-Smark, I should say. Sure. Love of wrestling. So it doesn't bother me. People get so bent out of shape about sticking to this, sticking to that. They said they're doing a sports base too. Guess what? There's a lot of fucking goofy shit going on.
There is. It's really not sports based when you think about it with how goofy it is. But this is, again, it's like, they from the very beginning, they shouldn't, it's like, don't make promises you can't keep. They shouldn't have set these types of standards if they knew going in they wouldn't be able to do it, that they would get tied up. And, again, for storytelling purposes, there's a reason why they're getting tied up with it. So it's a matter of they should not have even done it in the beginning. I do like the idea of the scoring. Again, you could build stories around that. About Red Velvet, she's 0-8. She became 1-8. Ooh, that's a thing. She build up her wins now. I kind of like that. I like the idea of the scoring more than the idea of the ranking.
I'll tell you what, that's the one thing I didn't like.
Really? You don't like the scoring?
We're going to keep records, and records are going to mean something. Again, another thing, shut the fuck up. Don't say it, because now you got to stick to it.
Yeah. Yep.
You know what I mean? Now you got Red Velvet. Now you got to build Red Velvet up to 8-8 before you could even try to make her something.
That is true.
Instead of just now she's beating someone that's 10-1. You get what I'm saying? So
yeah,
I didn't like the whole record thing. You know where records worked? Goldberg and Brian Myers apparently did the losing streak record.
Yes.
And then it mattered when he finally won.
Yes.
Cutler and Avalon. That's where records work. But I don't need to know everybody's fucking record.
Yeah.
All right?
And I got to tell you, I've been trying to, on the side, do this research for the AEW Tag Team Tournament for 2020. I'm not kidding. It's like, Eddie, where I'm looking on Google, I cannot freaking find it. There is no straight place where they're telling you what the Tag Team Tournament is.
Not Tag Team, World Title.
Oh, for the World Title.
Yeah. That's why.
Thank you.
That's why you're not finding it.
That I did.
Hey, Jimmy, least research ever.
See?
even when we research, we got the least research.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. This is a fucking.
But that's why it's like follies. Family.
That's right. I don't know which one of us is worse, me or you.
We are the realest wrestling podcast out there.
That's goddamn right.
We got no fluff. We got no muff. Well, we like some muff, but
Hell yeah.
I thought it was funny. Anyway,
Yeah.
yes.
Listen, I just don't want to be after last week. I gotta fall back on the women's stuff.
No, I hear you. I hear you.
I gotta give that a breather, you know.
Well, I do have the names for the tournament. You do actually. So here's what we've got.
Okay, let's.
Do you want me to read those?
Let's do that. Yeah, let's go. Give me the left side of the bracket.
Sure.
And
so
we'll do the right side after that, and then we'll go back to Dynamite.
Sure. So left side of the bracket, we've got Penta El Zero versus Rey Fenix, Kenny Omega versus Joey Janela.
That Penta and Phoenix match, I think, is gonna fucking tear it down.
I think so too.
I think that's gonna be insane. Since it's round one, I think that's next week, right?
I believe I don't know. Hold on. That might be next week.
Do they have? I mean, let's just fuck it. Let's just call who we think is going to win all these first rounders anyway.
Sure.
I think Penta's going to take that.
I agree.
I think Penta's going to take that.
Omega versus Janela is a joke. I mean, that needs to just be a squash.
Okay. Okay. Remember what I said. He had a good match with Omega early on.
Yeah.
And he's really gotten shittier as the year went on.
Yeah.
So I have a feeling he's going to be pretty good in this match. So either way, it's going to be Omega.
Yeah.
You and I know that. So.
And then on the other side of the bracket, we've got Colt Cabana, Hangman Page. That's also going to be very obvious. I mean, Page is obviously going to have to
Page
advance.
is definitely taking that.
And then this one I'm looking forward to just from a performance standpoint. We got Wardlow and Jungle Boy.
I think Jungle Boy's going to win.
I think he will too, but I think that should be an entertaining match.
It's going to be fun. Wardlow's good, man. He's underrated. Not underrated. I think he's not been seen enough to be rated.
Yeah.
It's more like.
Yeah.
But from what we've seen, I'm real impressed with him.
Yeah.
I will say, I think Jungle Boy takes that, and then you got Hangman and Jungle Boy. I think that's going to steal the tournament, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
That's going to be the match stealer. You know what, man? Fuck, man. I thought I had this played out a little bit more, but I have a feeling that if it's going to be Kenny versus Hangman in the finals, I have a feeling Kenny might not win. I'm having this feeling. It's similar to the Bucks feeling.
Which could be what makes him snap.
Exactly.
Yeah, he loses and he loses his shit.
Exactly. He's kind of teetering.
Yeah, I agree with you. I completely agree with you. I think that's what's going to be. It's going to be Hangman and Omega. Hangman's going to win the entire tournament, and that's going to make Omega lose his shit entirely.
Right.
He's going to lose his mind. There you go. And I think we talked about this. This feels like deja vu. I feel like you and I already talked about this.
Maybe that's where it's coming.
Yeah, we did talk about this.
Remember the great fucking mind that I have? Yeah. Can't even remember last week's fucking show, bro. Yeah, I have a feeling something's gonna get fucked up. Even if it's not that, and say maybe Kenny loses to Penta or something because of Hangman or some shit, you know? Who knows? I think there's going to be some kind of fuckery, and I have a feeling maybe Kenny doesn't come out.
Yeah.
And then let's see what we got in the chat. Scholar says Penta and Phoenix in the opening round is going to be dope. Hell yeah, that's going to be dope. And Scholar says free Jungle Boy. Yep, for sure. He's on the same page with us. Jimmy says Hangman's gonna take Jack's head off with the lariat, and then Jimmy says nope. Omega versus Mox, the rubber match. So he thinks Omega's gonna win, and the three of us talked about it. I think okay, so yeah, but I don't remember if we spoke. I don't know how we spoke about it though. Good call, and then Scholar says, good call, guys. Omega hasn't wrestled any singles matches since they broke up. Right.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting. I mean, I think there's a couple ways they could go in this tournament, so it's going to be fun. Either way, it's going to be fun.
Absolutely.
Let's get back to Dynamite here. We took a little side turn there. Side street.
Oh man, where did we leave off? Hold on, let's see.
Shida and Swole.
Yep, there you go.
All right.
You know, I don't think Swole is looking very good. I don't know. She just wasn't working for me in this match.
The match was okay in terms of overall, but there were about 3 or 4 spots that really stuck out. Shida missed the kip up.
Yes, that's true.
Badly. Looked bad. Shida couldn't get the leverage to get the suplex over the rail, which I give the women a pass on because of the leverage they have versus their size. They're not as tall. The leverage, how high that is, it's a little harder. But in that sense, maybe you don't go out there and do that spot because of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that kind of took it out. That kind of pulled the match down a little bit. And then she straight jacketed her arms, Swole's arms, hit her with the suplex, but she wasn't even down, and the refs counting the pin.
That was also off.
Yeah, it was a little awkward. So that's the 3 that I could remember. Maybe there was a 4th.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember anything. Other than that, the match was okay. I mean, it was pretty good. But those hiccups were big hiccups, man.
Yeah.
I mean, the suplex thing wasn't. I mean, there's people, you can just make it like it's a struggle. More the pin and the kip up. Oh, there was one more. It was she tried to sunset flip Shida off the top and completely lost hold of Shida. I don't know if that was purposeful or not.
I think that was a mess up. I don't think that was purposeful.
Right. And that's probably both of them timing-wise. It didn't work.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, listen, they were big hiccups. So, aside from... I'll preface this by saying, aside from that, it was an okay match, but that kind of drags the match down to shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they were just too big. It was just too big of a problem there.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I feel like... you know I'm a Shida guy, but last few matches have been pretty rough for her. Also, you know what annoyed me in this match? I don't know if you noticed it, but she goes for the Falcon Arrow and Swole kicks out of it.
Yeah, what was up with that? That kind of, I don't know, that took away from it too, for sure.
I think I think AEW did a really strong job early on of making finishers matter and stay strong.
Yes.
But I feel like as it's going, they're doing the old indie thing where it's like kick out of every fucking finisher thrown at you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like maybe she's going to that other finisher. I don't remember the move she's been doing. So maybe they're kind of transitioning the Falcon Arrow into that as into the other move as her new finisher.
Maybe
that's why.
Maybe.
Is it a submission? I can't remember. Jesus Christ.
I mean, I am trying to remember myself now in regard to that, but I don't know. Because if you're transitioning, I don't like the idea of transitioning and then it means that, okay, so now this finisher doesn't mean anything anymore.
Right.
It's like you're demoting finishers because of other finishers taking over. It's weird.
Yeah. My other note here was like, I think sometimes the women are rushing things, instead of setting them up right. They're kind of rushing.
Yeah.
It's causing a lot of hiccups, and the men do it as well. So it's not just the women, but I think it's more noticeable in the women. There's less women's matches. The women are more green. The women haven't been having great matches. So I think it stands out a lot more than the men.
Yeah.
When it happens in the men's matches. I think it drags the women's match down a lot more. And that's just more, like I said, I think you're just seeing more men's matches, so it doesn't kind of hit you as heavily. So
yeah, for sure.
Something that I think, maybe they need to look at with the women is slow them down. Same with like the whole private party thing. Slow them down. Be deliberate. Do your work. They have times where they slow down to fucking half speed when they're doing these punches to each other's chest. They'll totally stop a match and then go full-fledged and then slow it down again and pick those spots. Slow it down when you need to.
Yeah.
Don't just slow it down for chops. Slow it down with moves. Take your time with the moves. That's more where I mean. Like, if you're setting up a Falcon Arrow, set it up. Make sure you got all your stuff ready. Pick up, land the move. If you're going down for a fireman's carry, make sure you're set. Make sure everything's right. Then try. Don't try, fall over and tumble because you can't pick the person up. It looks that much worse, So, Skylar says they don't give women's matches enough time. I don't think they need more time. I think they need to take their time a little more. They maybe if they have 8 minutes, do 8 minutes, but do it at a just not, and it's not even like a slower pace like I just said. It's more like make sure you're setting your moves. That's kind of what I mean by stop rushing. Just make sure you're setting your moves. If it takes an extra second to make sure that you have a good grip or a good balance on something, take the extra second. You're already looking like you're running through molasses walls.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
exactly.
Take a little bit of time, set it up. And I do agree, cut down on shit like Jericho and MJF's promo. 100% agree with that. That was like crazy. It's more like just getting, again, more reps with these women. And the fucked up part is Shida's the champ, so they're not putting her on dark. They're building up, they're allowing all these other women to get these reps. But the ones that are on Dynamite aren't really, more frequently, and the champ aren't getting those reps on dark.
It is kind of ironic. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, you got to keep them fresh and in the ring.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're working during the week practicing, but, Go ahead, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say, it's kind of ironic that, like on Dark, you're having a lot more of the women's matches and you are seeing more of a progression of work, like with someone like Red Velvet, right. And what they were doing with Allie before she disappeared. Whereas,
what the fuck happened?
Yeah, and you don't really see that so much on Dynamite, and you're not really right. You're not building in the work. It's very weird. I don't know. I can't place it.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, eventually they'll get the hang of it eventually. Then we get Spears with a promo. I really like this promo about Sky owing him a moment. He's like, you took a moment from me.
Yeah.
You owe me a moment. I really like that, man.
I did too.
I really, really... I think Spears has given some great promos. I just don't think he's had that moment yet to really take the great promos and bring them to the ring and bring it to a good storyline. Hopefully this is something that we get. You know what I mean? Hopefully that's something we get with this. I wouldn't mind seeing him and Sky feud. So I'm looking forward to where this goes. That statement really fucking resonated with me where he said, you took a moment from me. Now you owe me a moment.
Yeah.
Like that fucking grabbed. I was like, oh shit. Like, all right, that's for real. Like, that's what I'm talking about with the Sammy thing,
Yeah.
That's what you need. You need that fucking thing that grabs you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree. I liked it. I do hope that this elevates him a bit more.
Yeah, I really do too. I think he's been doing his thing, and the glove thing kind of I wasn't too hot on, but hopefully we'll see some better stuff coming from Spears soon.
Yeah.
You have anything on that promo yourself noted or?
No, just I agree. It was a sharp promo, and it was something you don't really hear in wrestling. It's like I like it. It was something different.
Yeah, definitely different. All right, so then we'll move to the we'll move to the main event here. We got Moxley and Archer for the world title, no DQ. Good match, great match, hard hitting. You know what these guys are gonna give you, man.
Oh
You know? They're just gonna beat the fuck out of each other. Do you have anything in the match that stood out for you? I mean, for me, it's just a good match. I mean, I have no major notes.
Yeah.
The ending, obviously, I have notes on, but I'm talking in the match itself. Was there anything? I mean, they both, like, for me, I felt they both performed great.
Absolutely.
You know?
I love the paradigm shift through the tables. That was great.
Yeah.
That was really, like you said, hard hitting, and that stood out quite a bit. I mean, other than that, no specific notes other than agreed. It was a very hard hitting match. It was worthy of a main event, and yeah, I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Yeah, same here. The end with Kingston. Now, Kingston comes out. He tells his guys. He tells the crew to pick up Mox, help him up. We went up and down, whatever. We we're friends. Blah blah blah. And then he hits him with the spinning back fist, and fucking looked good. Really looked good. Then he chokes him out with the rear naked choke.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it. I like Kingston, man. He's so gritty. People shit on him about how he looks, but when you talk that good, man, it don't matter what you look like.
Oh yeah.
If you got it in the ring, like, and not only that, but his in-ring presence. He's not flashy, but he'll do that grounded shit. The fucking chops, the punches. They look good. You feel them, You're watching it and you feel it. You're like, fuck, he just felt like he hit me,
Yeah.
So I really love Eddie Kingston, man. I wish I knew about this guy before. I like that he choked him out. I like that. I just like where this is going. I think it's gonna be. I'm wondering if it's gonna be Kingston at the pay-per-view.
I think that is what they're building to here.
You think it's not before the pay-per-view?
Not before.
Right?
I hope they don't do it before, because again, this is the whole blowing your load on TV. I kind of feel like they are building this to be the event for the pay-per-view.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Scholar just said. Kingston versus Mox at the pay-per-view?
Yeah.
Question mark.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm thinking too. I don't think it. It's like there's not enough time to build something else.
Exactly.
You blow this off at the pay-per-view.
By the way, I did love the old school Vlad Guerrero Expos jersey he was wearing too.
Yo, yeah, me too,
that was
man.
sweet.
That was real sweet.
I'm a big. I mean, you and I are both big baseball fans. I am a big defunct team fan, so I love when people wearing like things with the Expos or things with the Texans or things with these teams that are no longer around. I love that. I get a warm feeling out of it. So I love seeing the Guerrero Expos jersey. That was great.
It's funny you say that because that's the first thing I noticed when he's walking out. I'm like, oh
how
shit,
could
he got
you
a
not?
nice Vladimir Guerrero Expos jersey.
I mean, dude, I was at a Lids one time like a year or so ago, maybe about 2 years ago. I almost bought an Expos hat. I just love it. I love the old logo. I almost bought it just because it was so cool. It's a product of a different time. So that was really cool. If they somehow like get the rights and they make an AEW like chase figure of Kingston with the Expos jersey, I will pay top dollar for that.
I'm sure there's somebody out there that's gonna do a custom like a custom shirt that you could buy.
Yep. So yeah, I liked it.
I'll be in on that. So Kenny says we need a lights out match between these two at the pay-per-view, and Scholar agrees. I agree. That would be good. A lights out match.
That would be very good.
That would be very good. Here's my thing, man. I was thinking about this yesterday, actually. They're almost doing too many gimmick matches. It's almost like you're taking the... you had a dog collar match, you had a no DQ match, you had a fucking...
Sure.
So it's almost like, are you taking... At this point, the cat's out of the bag. Can you put it back in the bag and make it mean something again? Or feel like something again? Like it used to when we were younger?
Right.
Or is the cat out of the bag and that's it? It's no going back.
Right, right.
I think you can go back on things. I think you just have to force. Cats are a pain in the ass. If a cat don't want to go in a bag, it's hard to get a cat in a bag. But sometimes you got to force the fucking cat in a bag.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Not literally. I don't condone abusing animals. I love animals. I'm figuratively speaking.
Sure.
Sometimes you got to force the cat back in a bag, man. Bring that motherfucker out twice a year. It's like you're doing it on every pay-per-view. You're doing it on every TV show. You go from a dog collar to a no DQ. And I believe there was something prior to the dog collar, if I'm not mistaken. So
it almost does make you wonder if they're overcompensating for the actual wrestling and the actual performances.
Oh, okay.
That maybe they feel like they have to lean on that, but I never really thought of that much until you just brought it up.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think they more just want to give people crazy shit, and I think it's like when you go to the supermarket and you're hungry. Your eyes are big, so you want it all.
Yeah.
But you buy it all, and you only, you're like, you'd only eat one fucking thing. So you go home, you got a ton of things, and you only can eat one thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think they want it all, but they want it now. And I think AEW is kind of doing that, where they want it all, but they're trying to give it to you now instead of just slowly using that.
Yeah. Stuff. Yeah. But yeah, it is the kind of thing where it would make more sense to really have a lot more separation between matches like that. And if they are going to have a super gimmicky match, again, something like a dog collar match, that is something you say for a pay-per-view. Yeah,
no, I don't mind that being on Dynamite, actually. That's like giving your fans some love, you know what I mean?
Okay.
I don't mind that. And I'm down with the lights out match too at the pay-per-view. I get it. I'm just saying maybe try to put that cat back in the bag. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And make those fucking matches mean something. Even if you do a dog collar match on Dynamite, and then you have a pay-per-view where you do a lights out match like later in the year or whatever.
Sure.
You know what I mean? It's almost like, having a TLC match every other fucking pay-per-view. It's, when does a TLC match just become just a fucking crazy match of guys flying the fuck around?
Yeah.
So, anyway. What do we got? What else did I have here? Okay, so quick note, I really don't think... I wonder if they'll give Kingston a title transit. I wonder if they'll give him the title and then have it use it to transition to, say, Omega or whoever wins the title. It'd be cool. It
would be cool.
But I
kind of feel like it still might be a little bit too soon to take it off Moxley if you want to take it seriously.
Right. Well, I don't. Yes, at the pay-per-view, you're right. But it's been a while, man. He's had it since March. It's almost a year. No, well, maybe not almost a year, but close.
Right.
You're right. 8 months. About 8 months. So.
I kind of feel like it should be serious enough that you want him to hold that title until they're Double or Nothing. I don't know.
But that's mid next year, bro. You can't. Revolution, maybe.
I don't know. I mean,
what are you gonna do?
Hard to say.
Yeah, I don't know. And this is note I had. We already kind of spoke about Moxley. So here's what I said. Would be cool, but I do prefer Moxley and Omega directly battling it out. Especially since they got the history.
Sure.
But I threw that monkey wrench. We threw that monkey wrench in there earlier about maybe Kenny doesn't even win the tournament.
Right.
Right. We know that Kenny's going to eventually be one of the guys getting the title. Who's going to have it at that time? Who knows?
Yeah.
They've already been mentioning year 2 is going to be Kenny's year, where they're focusing heavy on Kenny.
Yeah.
The Bucks have said it recently. This has kind of been chatter for, the last year now. So we'll see. It'd be cool to see Kingston hold the title because that's what he wants. Like he said in interviews, like for him the title is where everybody in wrestling wants to be. You know what I mean? So that's his goal. So for him, even if he's just a quick transition champ, that'd be pretty cool. But again, I agree with you. I wouldn't want to take it. I'm just saying it would be cool.
Sure.
I'm not saying that should happen. So, but yeah, I mean, as far as the show, that was pretty much all I have.
Yep.
I don't know if you have anything else.
Nope. Good way to end the show. Curious to see where they go with this next week.
Yeah. It's what do we got left? 2 more weeks for what is it? The 7th?
It's the 7th, so I think that's about 3 more weeks, 3 more Saturdays.
Oh, so they got some time.
They got time. Yeah.
They got some time.
Yeah.
Go to the chat real quick before we get ready to sign off here. Skylar says Hangman could win the title from Mox, then Omega takes it from Hangman. That would be interesting. That would be really
cool.
Motherfucking interesting.
Yep, that would be a nice way to build it. I like the idea of that.
I still like Omega Moxley though. I feel like, oh man, see, I'm going in 5 different directions here. I'm like, yeah, like if Kingston won for like a week, and then I'm like,
yeah,
I really like Kenny. I like Kenny Omega not to win the title, but and that's the reason he snaps. But then I go, well, fuck. Moxley kind of started with Omega, and there was that whole, they always had that cleaner like hint there with the broom, and and it was like maybe Moxley pulls the cleaner out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So fuck, man. There's like 5 different ways that I would be satisfied.
Yeah.
Will I be satisfied in the end? Who knows? In my mind, I would be satisfied 5 different ways. One of the 5 happens and the others don't. Will I still be satisfied is the question.
Yeah.
So, who knows? We'll see. We got 3 weeks.
We got 3 weeks.
Yeah, 3 full shows and then the pay-per-view.
That's right.
And we'll do a hot tag Saturday morning before the pay-per-view, or Saturday early afternoon or whatever.
I'm glad you brought that up. I will not be able to do the 7th. I'm going to be out, but so we'll maybe try to see if we can figure something out to maybe do it that Friday or something. We'll figure it out.
He's the worst, guys.
Yeah. Bill calls me the Zoomer. This is not Zoom. I'm actually going to be physically out that day, but
okay, Zoomer. You should be closer to okay Boomer than okay Zoomer.
I'm kind of in the middle of both.
Yeah. No.
But no, yeah, in all seriousness, we should figure that out since that is the day of the pay-per-view, but I will be out for that day. So, yeah, we'll figure something out. We'll announce it to everybody when we can try to pull something together. Maybe we do that Friday night or something.
Right. Yeah, that I can't stand that okay Boomer shit. So
I know, me too.
That was my comeback to okay Zoomer was my comeback. So
yeah, I had been on, as Bill knows, I was on Zoom quite a bit with a lot of friends during the whole pandemic, which is still happening, but ever since I've been back in New York, I've actually been out and about, and I will actually be out and about that entire day and night. So I'm going to have to find a way to watch the pay-per-view first of all, but yeah, we'll make sure to put something together before then.
Yeah, Jimmy says, Skylar says, peace, dudes. Thank you, brother. Peace out.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate you being here. That was awesome. You've been supporting us big. And then Jimmy says that's why the rubber match closed it out. Yep, agree.
Yep.
And Kenny says what's great about AEW is there's no obvious booking. 100%. Obviously there's times there's obvious, but there's so many. You could think of so many different directions right now. With say the Bucks and Kenny and Hangman. That who the fuck knows? Even Kingston. Who knows?
Yeah, it's true.
So I really like that. So we're gonna sign off now. As always. UncensoredAlliance.com. Catch everything we do. Our podcast, our YouTube, our emails, our Facebook groups and pages. Twitter, we are at AEW Uncensored. No spaces, just one solid word. Email AEW Uncensored Podcast at gmail.com. Love mail, hate mail, questions, comments, whatever. You want us to put it on the air, you don't want us to put it on the air, whatever. Facebook, we have a group and a page, AEW Uncensored Podcast. Put it in the search bar, like the page, join the group. As always, smash the like button and subscribe button and hit the fucking bell because, that's huge. That helps us. All that stuff, algorithms for YouTube. So, all our other stuff is linked in the description of YouTube and our podcast. For third party, for the podcast version, the audio, all third-party podcast apps, you can find us there. Just search us. We are on iTunes, which is the largest spot for podcasting. So review us there, like us there, subscribe to us there. That helps us big time. That's a world the podcasting world, from what it seems like, revolves around iTunes. So the more we get props on iTunes, the better we do getting to a wider audience. And if you love the show, why wouldn't you want us to get to a wider audience? That just helps us out and helps us bring more shit to you guys. Listen, we may not be the cleanest podcast in terms of coming off the top smooth like a goddamn ring announcer or something, but hell, we're just two bums having fun. So
we're not the cleanest,
have fun,
but we're the realist.
That's right. If you can't have fun with us bumbling over our words, then what can you?
Exactly.
Yeah, we definitely are not like professional commentators or anything. We are the worst. So anyway, back to the podcast. You catch us on Google Podcasts, iTunes, Deezer, TuneIn, Stitcher, iHeart Radio, and Skype. Hit us on Skype. The link's in the description of the podcast and the YouTube channel. It's on our website as well. From Skype, we'll bring you on the show live as a call-in. We would love to have you join us. So hit me up on Skype. Hit up our account on Skype, and we'll add you. And as always, this was a pop-in chat today.
Yeah.
I just want to shout out the regulars. We got Kenny. What's up, Kenny? Skylar, thanks for joining us this week for the first time live. I know you listen though previous to that. So shout out to you, Jimmy, who's a regular. And then who else did we have? We had Alex today. Shout out to you, Alex. Thanks for joining us. And George from Australia. Fucking guy getting ready for work and driving to work and still listening to us, man, at 6:30 in the morning, 6:30 in the morning, on a Monday at that. So thank you for that, George. We love you, brother. We love all you guys in the chat. We love all you guys listening. Thank you for the support. We've been fucking extremely happy where we're at, man. You guys, like, I'm blown away by the love.
Absolutely.
And the support. I mean, bro, we're on the charts every week, like almost all week. So that's crazy to me. That's just fucking wild that we're even close to some of these guys that are famous people that have podcasts, you know?
Absolutely.
So that, like, we sniff some of the same numbers they sniff. So in terms of ratings, rankings. So that's pretty fucking cool, man. I'm humbled by that. And that's all from you guys checking us out, you know, and listening to us. And you guys obviously joining us now, Kenny, Jimmy, Skylar, George, and Alex, and all the other guys. But thank you again. Like, share, subscribe. Hit the thumb. Hit the bell. Check uncensoredalliance.com for fucking everything. And thank you all again. And we will see you next week. Peace.
Peace all.
Peace.